Welcome back to Feather and Hide. Today we'll be tying the winged black ant. Here's a list of materials. Start by placing your hook in the vise and wrapping a nice thin base layer of thread all the way back to the bend of the hook. Now cut your tag end. Next we'll be creating the abdomen out of black dubbing. Start by creating a noodle of dubbing on your thread. Try to keep it nice and thin and fold it up with layers. A tip to get your dubbing to wrap better is to wrap clockwise, and you can also dampen your fingertips to get it to start easier. Use a good bit of pressure when twisting it onto the thread. You can also work backwards to achieve the shape that you are going for, and it's possible every now and then that you might have to adjust your dubbing and twist it back tight. Now that we have the abdomen shaped the way we want, it's time to fasten the wings. You're going to take two matching feather tips and strip about a 1/4 inch of fibers off the bottom of each of them. Then you're going to want to bring that stem up against the side of the hook and hold it roughly at a 30 to 45 degree angle and do a couple loose wraps to hold it in place, and then a tighter wrap or two to really tie it in. Then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Once you have each feather in the placement that you want, you can go ahead and wrap them in real nice and snip the tips of the stems off. Once you're happy, it will be time to wrap your hackle. So I like to use the lower part of the wing tips that I used and cut a small section of feather. One tip for wrapping hackle is to again pull about a 1/4 inch off the bottom of the stem. And then as you hold the wing facing you with the colorful side up, just strip off another 1/8 to a 1/4 inch of feather just off the top of the feather, and that will help align that hackle whenever you go to wrap it and make it easier to wrap the way it should. So go ahead and wrap. Do a few wraps to where you're happy with the amount that you have. You don't want to do too many and you don't want to do too little. I believe I do about 3 wraps usually. And then tie that feather off. Once it's tied off, you can go ahead and snip off the excess. And now we will be moving on to building the head. We're going to do the same thing with the dubbing. Remember, less is more. Try to keep a nice thin noodle and always wrap clockwise. That will help you to get it to stick to the thread, and a little bit of moisture on your fingertips goes a long way. Careful not to trap any of the hackle fibers that you just tied on. Try to wiggle your thread back and forth, and that usually gets it to release the fibers. As you can see here, I resorted to using my fingertips. Then go ahead and just build that head up to the shape that you want and wrap it to just behind the eye. If you do trap any fibers, don't worry, you can always trim them off later. Once you're happy with it, you can go ahead and do a whip finish, and you can also put a dab of super glue on top of the thread just to really lock it into place. There you have it. Do a couple cleanup snips, clean up some hackles, and you just tied your flying ant pattern. I hope this helped you, and if it did, please like and subscribe for more tutorials, and we'll see you next time.